Assalamualaikum. Very good morning, everyone. Oh, you want to talk? Oh, okay. For the class this morning, I want you to review this video first, okay? Later on, I will explain and we do the exercise together. Okay, let's watch.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Cikgu Darrel, and today we shall continue on Starter Unit Lesson 2, which will be on your student's book, page 5. The objective for our lesson today is, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to use the verb be and introduce people. There are two things that you need to learn for today's lesson. The first one is subject pronouns, and the next one is possessive adjectives. What are subject pronouns? Well, if I just merely told you about subject pronouns, you might not understand what they are. But if I show you the examples of subject pronouns, definitely you can recall what are those because you always use them in your writing. Examples of subject pronouns are he, she, it, they, we, I, you. Can you recall any of those? Bear in mind that subject pronoun is always used together with verb be. If you look at the screen right in front of you, I have prepared a table for you for your convenience to understand the use of subject pronoun. However, English is not that easy. At the same time, it is not that difficult too. Just that we have to know which verb be belongs to which subject pronoun. Now we try to look at the red column, subject pronouns. When the subject pronouns used are he, she, and it, then we have to use is as the verb be. Normally, subject pronouns is used before the verb be. And why is there a green column and also a yellow column? This is because verb be can be used for an affirmative statement or a negative statement. What is affirmative statement? Affirmative statement means you say yes to something, whereby a negative statement means you say no to something. That is why when there is a yes, we say is for he, she, and it. And if it's a no for he, she, and it, then we use is not, or in short form, we call it as isn't. The same thing goes to subject pronouns they, we, and you. If the statement that we are giving is a yes or affirmative, then the verb be that we are going to use is are. The same thing when we want to say no to our statement, but the subject pronouns that we use are they, we, and you, then we have to go for are not. Or if you prefer to use contractions, then you go for aren't. Both are acceptable. Last but not least, the only subject pronoun, which is I, the verb be affirmative for it is am, and the negative for it is am not. Alright? There is a contraction for this subject pronoun, just that the contraction is not done on the verb be, but normally the contraction is done together with the subject pronoun. So instead of saying I am not, people normally use I'm not. We try to go for some examples so that you will understand the use of the subject pronoun. If you look here, there's a pretty girl with an Italian flag right behind her. So obviously, I'm going to introduce to you about this young lady. Let's read the statement together. This is Jasmine. She is from Italy. I bet you have already seen where subject pronoun is. Is the word in red color. Now, how can I so sure that it is a subject pronoun? Because there is a verb be. At the same time, I also need to remind you that not every sentence that you read always come out with the subject pronouns he, she, it, they, we, I, you. This is because sometimes people might use references to replace the subject pronouns. So I'm worried that you might confuse a little bit here. It is not that using subject pronouns frequently is wrong. It is just that sometimes people want to make varieties in the writing. That is why it comes up with a lot of references to represent the subject pronouns. Just for example, when we want to use the subject pronoun he, the other references that can be used to replace he is, it could be Jack, my brother, the police, and so on. There are so many things. As long as it is one person and it is a male, a boy or a man, then you can use he. The same thing goes to she. When you want to use she, it must be one person and that person must be a girl. For example, Jasmine, your sister, the nurse. Next, the subject pronoun it. It also refers to one thing, but definitely it is not a person. Okay? Most of the time, a lot of teachers guided their students that using it is for non-living things. Sorry, it's not. It's not for non-living things. It is used for non-human thing. For example, you can use it on animals. Animals is a living thing. So, and examples of references for it could be the cat, flower, photo, book. As long as when we want to use it must adhere to the condition of being one and also non-human thing. Next, they. When we want to use they, definitely it must be more than one person or one thing. If we want to use they, it could be on humans or non-humans. Just for example, as long as it is more than one, Jack and Jasmine are human, right? But since it is more than one person, so we use they. Tables. Tables is a non-human thing. So, because there is an S at the back there, which means the table is actually more than one, so we use they as well. The same thing that goes to dogs. Dogs are non-human too, but because there's an S at the back there, so we would say the dog is more than one. So we have to use subject pronoun they to refer to these dogs. Whereby for we, it is very easy. The keyword here is an I. As long as whenever you read a sentence that has the word an I in it, definitely it refers to we. Whereby for I and you, there are no references for it. Just that you have to bear in mind for he, she, it, they, we, the uses of references, because after this we are going to do a lot of exercises, and inside the exercise I will not always be using he, she, it, they, we, I, you. Instead, I will use a lot of references to refer to all these subject pronouns to see if you know how to use the verb be in an affirmative or negative way or not. Let's try an example for affirmative and negative be. If you see here, inside the picture, there is more than one horse. That is why I use horses. Now, horses, can I use he? Cannot, because he applies to only one person and must be a male. Can I use she? No, because she refers to one person and it must be a female. Are horses human? No, so he, she cannot. Can we use it to substitute horses? Seems can, because it we apply on non-human. Horses are non-human. But when we want to use it must be only one. So how many horses are there inside the picture? It's more than one. So anything that is more than one, which subject pronoun can we use? It's they. When we have already identified that the subject pronoun in this sentence is they, so which verb be we can use for the answer? Can you guess it already? It's are. So the answer is horses are animals. Next, I interested in video games. You can see the finger is playing, so it seems that you are really interested with it. But here in this sentence, The subject pronoun here is I. So just now for I, which verb be should we use? I am interested in video games. Next, Oxford in Malaysia. Are you sure Oxford is in Malaysia? So this sentence is not affirmative. This sentence is definitely negative. It means that it's a no statement. Because Oxford, we don't see it in Malaysia. Oxford is in United Kingdom. So this statement, when we want to say no to it, how do we say it? Oxford, how many places? It's only one. Is it a non-human? Yes. Is it only one? Yes. So the subject pronoun is it. So it is, it are, or it am. It is. But because is used for affirmative sentence, so we have to go for negative. What is the negative for is? The answer is isn't or is not. Oxford isn't or is not in Malaysia. Now let's look together at the possessive adjective. What are possessive adjectives? Possessive adjective, if we look at the examples, you will surely know what it is because you always use this in your writing too. Possessive adjective, the examples are his, her, its, their, our, my, your. And normally, when do we use these possessive adjectives? Possessive adjectives are always used before the nouns. I repeat, possessive adjectives are always used before the nouns. Nouns are divided into two categories: living things and also non-living things. An example for you of using possessive adjective, let's read the sentence again together. This is my friend Jasmine. Her parents are doctors. Like what I said earlier, possessive adjectives are used before the noun. So where is the possessive adjective first? We look at the green words. The first one is my. The second one is her. And these are possessive adjectives. And how do we know they are possessive adjectives? Because there is a noun after the possessive adjective. Possessive adjective, the condition is it must exist before the noun. So now the noun here is friend and parents. You get what I mean? Okay, we try another example. Our house is next to their house. The possessive adjectives here are our and their. And how can we confirm that it is possessive adjective? Because the noun here is house. It happens after the possessive adjective. House, our house, their house. Okay, so
Okay guys, I think that's all for today. Okay, don't forget to complete your homework. Okay, submit to me as usual. Send to our WhatsApp group. Okay, see you tomorrow for the next class. Bye.